Paul Dozo with me, another one of our weekly updates. We're midway through pre-season, the season's not far away now. How have you felt this pre-season campaign's gone?
It's been a strange one, very difficult in many regards. Players that have been out for 6-7 months because of the coronavirus coming back to the environment of trying to get fit for football. On the back of that, we picked up a number of niggles and injuries that are unusual for us. To the extent that we've had to actually cancel the game against Dagenham on Saturday. As I said, we've got 6 players currently out injured that we'll talk about in a moment. And Rory Deacon's also suspended from being sent off at Wealdstone, so it left us literally with a bare 11, which is just not, it's just not something we can do. So unfortunately, we had to cancel the game Saturday. Hopefully this week some more will recover, but at the moment, it's been a difficult time.
How difficult a decision at this stage in the process was it to call the game off on Saturday? Because obviously at this stage there's not too many more tests we can have before the season starts.
Well, it wasn't that difficult because, as I said, we ended up with 11 players and 2 of those are goalkeepers. So it just made it untenable. We have got Eastleigh in a behind closed doors game next Tuesday, and we are still hoping to organise a game for the 26th. But the worst case scenario after 26th, again, Eastleigh have been excellent. They said that we can go down and play a training game on the Monday, the 28th if needs be. But as I said, it's been a very difficult period, unusual period, and we're just trying to make sure that we get ourselves right for October the 3rd or October the 10th.
Let's talk about some of the players that are out injured. First and foremost, to talk about Joe Ichifano, who obviously came in the summer from St Albans, one of the marquee signings, I suppose. For him, he started off like a steam train in his first couple of games, and then he picked up that injury, and unfortunately we've not seen anything of him since.
No, so Joe's picked up a calf injury. He had his scan a week ago now, which he had a grade 1 tear in his calf. I think he's been out for 2.5 weeks now. He actually trained today, and I would suspect that come the next game against Eastleigh on Tuesday, then he could well be available. So Joe's making decent progress, but wouldn't have been available for Saturday.
Moussa Diarra, another one that got injured unfortunately after our first couple of pre-season games. It was another disappointment because it was another one of our marquee signings.
Yeah, so again, Moussa just felt his knee, and he sort of straightened his knee and it's popped. So he's been out for 3 weeks. He has a scan organised for this week. He's in very light training, but again, not really close to being fit to start. And I suspect that it'll be, might even be a problem for October the 3rd at this rate. So I'm hoping that Moussa will be fit for the first league game of the season on the 10th. But yeah, it's sort of one with Joe and Moussa both being out. It's been disappointing.
Billy Clifford, the next one, unfortunately, in the treatment room. We've seen fits and sparks of Billy, and when we have seen those little cameo appearances against Gosport, against Wealdstone, we've seen some real quality in there. I suppose it's frustrating because he plays well and then he picks up a knock at the moment.
Yeah, listen, I've said all along, and I'll say it every pre-season, it's not so much, we're not worried about results during pre-season. You're worried about performance and getting people through not injured and getting them match fit. And again, Billy has shown exactly what he's going to bring to the table when he is fit. He's just got a tweak in his quad. Again, probably 2 weeks away from being able to be put back into full training, which again is taking us towards that 3rd of October date. So realistically, I think with Billy, we'd be looking more about the 10th or the 17th of October.
Next one's Godfrey Poku. He came off Saturday at Wealdstone, and on the day it looked like
Serious,
quite a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, again, frustrating because Godfrey said to me he's never had an injury literally in his whole career. So for him to come to us, and he went up for a header, rolled his ankle as he came down, but also strained his calf. So he came in crutches on Monday, and again he's been scanned this week. But the reality for Godfrey is we're probably looking again at about 3 to 4 weeks. So we won't be seeing him around for a little bit of time.
Sam Magwood, the other one as well. Again, he was someone that played near enough every minute for us last season in the league, so it's a very instrumental player to lose.
Yeah, Sam's had his scan. Again, he's been out for a couple of weeks now, which is why you got both probably of my first choice centre halves have been out for pre-season games. Hence, Waltz and Robbo starting together. But yeah, Mags is looking better, but I'd probably think again he's 2 to 3 weeks away from getting to the point where he can get him back into full training. So it's all hands to the pump at the minute.
I suppose it's difficult for yourself because in your head you'll know what your starting 11 would be for that first game in the FA Cup, but with injuries to big name players, it does make it that little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to put a positive slant on it, it's better to get the injuries out of the way now than perhaps halfway through the season. I thought we made a very good signing last week in getting Theo Widrington into the club. That gives us now 5 midfielders with normally 3 that are going to play. So Puku's out, Billy Clifford's out, and if that was in the league, it would only leave us with 3 fit midfielders, which is Taylor, Widrington and Betsy Gomez. So it just goes to show you need depth, and we got that when everyone's fit. And we will be making another good signing by the weekend to strengthen us up front as well. And it's a player that I've really been looking to get as well.
Turning a negative to a positive, what it does give is an opportunity for someone with these injuries to step in potentially if these players are out for that first game of the season, especially looking perhaps at some of the younger players who've just come in.
There's been loads of positives. As I said, the disappointment as the first part of this interview is letting everyone know that we have had the injuries, and you don't want to shout and scream about injuries, which we haven't. But I think today's a good day to update everybody where we're at. Tommy Wright's been fantastic, as I knew he would be in the first couple of games, 3 games. Daniel and Lucas, we've seen real quality from a blight against the lower opposition. I think they also learned against higher opposition it's not as easy. So I think Daniel really impressed me for that last 45 minutes at Wealdstone. He did well. I thought Theo came in as well and had a very good day, but we looked good against Wealdstone until we went down to 10 men and until we started to tire in about the 70th minute. So you look at the basis of where we're at, and it's I think it's very good.
I mean, if you take the last 20-30 minutes aside against the 2 National League teams who had more players to bring on than us, obviously due to situations we've just discussed earlier on in the interview, you would say that in the first game especially we were level better than them, in the second game we're definitely better than opposition we obviously were level with in terms of league last season, and obviously they're above us now.
Yeah, it's a good barometer because I thought they were both really good halves from I thought Wealdstone were decent, I thought Weymouth were decent, and we competed more than competed on a level playing field for that 60 minutes. But Weymouth had 8 or 9 players they brought on for the last 20 minutes, and we couldn't. And the same happened on Saturday, but we also only had 10 men. So the only disappointing half so far for me, and it was disappointing, was the Gosport game, where I thought that they had a real bit between their teeth and they took it a lot more seriously than perhaps we did in that first half. And that was the only disappointment for me so far pre-season. But there's been some real good things as well, that I'm seeing, and I'm really excited about October the 10th, and us starting against Maidstone.
If we move on to off-the-field matters, fans can see behind you, the work on the pitches continuing. We're making really good progress this week. It's probably been the busiest week so far. We're not far off now the official opening of the new 3G facility. Yeah,
I mean, listen, we've employed, I think one of the best companies at this level to do this type of pitch. And Slatter's always said to us that on Friday the 2nd of October it would be there, finished and ready, and they're absolutely bang on to do that. So really excited that we can get on to train on that pitch the following week before our league season starts. But no, they've done a great job. The shot pad's just going in at the moment, the rubber shot pad. I think the actual grass, as it will look, the grass pitch is going down Wednesday, I think, of next week. And then it's all the other little bits and pieces around it. So we're well on schedule, and really, really excited to see it finished. They've shown us a video of a very recent installation, I think at Everton's training ground and for their ladies team, and the pitch looks fantastic, to be fair.
I mean, we've been here with the last 5-6 weeks whilst the building work goes on, and I've felt the last few days is that real sense of it's getting close now, we're near that completion stage, and in a few weeks we will see it on there, and everything we've spoken about will then soon come true or come to fruition.
It's always the case. I mean, obviously I'm a developer by trade, and it takes me 10 months of being in the ground and being in muck and dirt, but it's always the last month when all the kitchens and bathrooms and all the nice bits go in, and obviously the nice bit as far as we're concerned is seeing a massive green carpet going down so it looks like a football pitch. So if you understand the process, there's lots and lots of work underneath the pitch that needs to be done, like drainage, the shot pad, the amount of levelling and lasering. So it's all been done in a very professional manner, and as I said, we've always felt confident that it would be finished for October the 3rd, and as I said, I think Slatter's a bang on target to do that.
Elsewhere around the club, we've obviously had that £15,000 grant go through from the Premier League and various trusts, obviously to help with Project Restart, getting ourselves back on the field of play, because as we found out, obviously firstly with the playoffs and now going through this process, it takes a heck of a lot to play a game of football in COVID times.
Yeah, I mean, all the players and staff were tested again, this morning. I think that was just the right thing to do. We haven't been tested since the playoffs, so the results will come through for that tomorrow. Richie Pope and Gary Pratt have done a fantastic job in terms of making this ground COVID secure, and I know we're as safe as any football ground in the country. They've done that good a job. Gary's also been having to look at ground capacities and the safety aspect of getting our fans back into this ground. And one thing I can say is that the work that those boys have done to get it COVID ready, everyone can come here on October the 10th and know that they're going to be in the safest environment, outside environment as well, that they can be at. So real credit to them. Credit to the Premier League for finally coming through, with 15 grand, which is important. It's money that we have spent and needed back. So yeah, it's very, very positive, but it has allowed us that money to go and do everything, absolutely to the letter of the law. And as I said, there's so much work going on in the background, as you've seen. So many people have got stuck in to get this ground ready, and we will be ready. That's a real positive.
Obviously, Wesley Park will look and feel a little bit different as it was before. There'll be one-way systems, there'll be markets in place, obviously, to keep up with COVID, extra hand sanitizer and things like that. But what we will also ensure is that the feeling and the buzz of being here on a match day and enjoying a game of football will not change.
Well, I also think that Mark Pope's trying to get beer sales inside the ground as well, which Hampshire FA have allowed us to do. So knowing our crowd, knowing the fact how much they like a beer, especially away from home, the fact that we'll be able to be selling beer within the ground, I think, and will help the atmosphere. I think you've had a couple of jars. It always loosens the vocal cords. But honestly, everything's being done to make this as an enjoyable day out, because I think people are fed up. They're fed up not being able to come to football. They're fed up non-stop with the neggies around coronavirus, and I think a day with us is going to be a very joyful day, and I mean that. I think it's an environment that we're creating that's safe, but also we want everyone to come and have a good time. So we're very, very confident of where we're at with that as well.
And there's also going to be, we're going to announce a lot more in the coming days about it, but there's also going to be some movement on the commercial side of the football club as well, and some very exciting things which we can't wait to announce on Monday.
Yeah, I think it's all it's all coming out on Monday, but yeah, there's 2 or 3 major companies that have wanted to partner with us for the community reasons. We're very much going to sort of show the club as being community driven, and that includes giving 3 hours of use to the disabled teams, to the girls teams, to the boys teams, to deprived. It's a deprived area that we're in and around, and one of the main reasons as well for bringing Gary into this environment is he knows what clubs to go to, and he knows the people that need help. And what a lot of these companies are getting involved with us is to help finance the pitch hire, to help finance the wages of a community officer. So, we're taking it very, very seriously. And I just, as I said, the news that's coming out Monday is big news for all of us. It's very exciting.
And let's wrap on the fact that everything that's going on around here, I think I've seen as much of you as I have seen of my family the last couple of months or so. There's a lot going on off the pitch that maybe not the fans quite see, but there's a heck of a lot going on here. And this room and everything else, there's been such a buzz about it, hasn't there? There's so much going on. There's a lot of energy going into making sure this football club is one of the top football clubs in the area.
Yeah, again, I think bringing Gary Pratt in was a big signing, if you like, off the pitch. Richie Pope, yourself, and Charlotte Hooper. Again, Charlotte's come on board as our media and commercial partner, and between the 4 of you, I think that we're on a different level now to what we've been before. And to see 4 people working together, and it's busy. You can just see it's busy. We haven't stopped. Any of us haven't stopped. Stuart Munro coming in as the CEO. Mark Pope, doing so much more than he could before. I think the chairman was almost sort of wondering what's hit him, because he made a comment to me earlier. He's never seen this place so busy in the whole of the time that he's been here, and that's a credit to a lot of people. A lot of people that are coming in, and most of it giving their time for free as well. But we've got a really good team off the pitch now as well, and I think that's going to make a huge difference to the club going forward.
Paul, great talking to you as ever. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, Henry.